Well, as we mentioned a little bit earlier, Supergirl is coming. I'm actually going to go see it tomorrow. I'm looking forward to seeing it. The first reactions have come out. As the Hollywood Reporter says, as Supergirl soars in first reactions, Jason Momoa is born to play that, yada, yada, yada. A lot of people seem to like it. Some people not as much. I'm a little bit trepidatious about it because while I've been excited about this film and I love the director, I wasn't thrilled. I'm well on the record that I wasn't thrilled with the CinemaCon presentation we got for it, but regardless. And one of the big questions about Supergirl is, of course, well, how much money is it going to make? How many people are going to go to see it? I know some people go, John, who cares how much money it makes? Then let me put it into a different term. The question is, how many people feel motivated to go to see it? Which is the same thing of talking about how much money it's going to make. But regardless. But here's an interesting thing. Before the first frame of opening night has hit the screen, Supergirl has already made $100 million. As how? Well, as in this report in Deadline, Supergirl has already passed $100 million plus in promo partner deals, which is the biggest ever for anything out of DC. And more than most films ever do. $100 million. Deadline goes on to write this. I mean, it may make more money from its Supergirl might make more money from Kentucky Fried Chicken than it does from movie audiences going to go see it. When Supergirl takes to the screen this Friday, she'll be the biggest Warner Brothers or DC Studios movie ever when it comes to promotional partnerships, with 80 plus sponsors who are delivering 100 million plus in media value. That's not even counting the consumer products, with names such as Ultra Beauty, Oppie, I have no idea what that is, Joico, no idea what that is, and Kentucky Fried Chicken, I am all too familiar with what that is. On board, Warner Brothers Global Partnerships' aim for the campaign is to sell the edgy aspect of the DC-verse while creating zeitgeist moments that will intrigue young women and families. Know that when it comes to partnerships, that dollar amounts is comprised of purchased advertisements, retail store space, as well as campaign, digital, and linear impressions. Of those 80, 65 are international partners, 14 are North American, and 4, counting a global reach, Samsung, Oppie, American Airlines, and Timex. Now look, we've all known for a long time that what do we call it when you're dropping like promo within movies, like product placement. That's the phrase I'm looking for. Product placement, as well as the larger scope of promo stuff, has been a part of movie marketing and movie budgeting for a very, very long time. We all remember that. Which one was it, guys? That one Transformers movie where the beer was so obviously a product, like so obscene, so over the top.
And it was like, they had that like emulator where it like created things in it, and it made a Beats. It made a Beats like speaker like system.
Yes. and you remember the first season of 24, which was a great show. I love 24.
Yeah.
But the first season of 24, I even remember once playing a game of pause roulette where I'd close my eyes for 30 seconds, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and then hit pause. And I bet myself when I open my eyes, if I see the Dell logo somewhere.
Oh, all over.
Dell was all over everything in season 1. Like, I don't mind product placement at all. 90% of the time, I don't even think we notice. But just when it becomes a little bit, pompous, that it kind of gets in your face a little bit. So I don't mind it. But again, it's an interesting thing that it's become more and more a part of the overall financial structure of movies, because at already making $100 million, I mean, that means the break-even point for Supergirl, which is hovering around Black Adam's break-even point, which is right around the $400 million mark. Now it's closer to $300 million, technically speaking. And I don't know if that's going to become something we have to start taking more and more into consideration as we go forward. Again, I think, number one, it's not only possible, I think it is expected, guys, that this movie is going to make more money from its promo deals than it will from the box office in its opening weekend. Like I think Supergirl's going to make more than $100 million overall.
Sure.
Yes. But I have a feeling that it's going to make more from its promo deals than it is from its opening weekend box office. And I mean that worldwide. I think it's going to make more than its worldwide opening weekend at the box office through its merchandising deals. So, Rob, I've been wanting to ask you about this because as somebody who's not only made feature films, but you've also worked in television and stuff like that. And I'm sure it hasn't happened. Have you ever been in a situation where, you know, product placement, not necessarily was a big deal, but where product placement was at least a part of what it was you were doing? Has that ever been
John,
a part of your
it's
work?
so funny that you ask that because yes, when I was working on Superman Returns, it came out 21 years ago, but there was a division at Warner Brothers called Global Brand Management, and they were in charge of finding deals, partnerships with big companies. And one of the things that we had to do was we had to make partnership videos trying to attract companies to throw in the towel and come in and help promote the movie. And like one of the things that I did, normally filmmakers hate doing this, but Bryan Singer really embraced it. And since I was shooting all the behind the scenes, I would have to shoot these promo videos, and I would go to him and I would say, okay, I got a call that Target is interested in promoting Superman Returns, and they have a new slogan outside of America, which is Target 100% happy. And Brian's like, okay, I got you. And we were shooting the scene in the bar where Jimmy Olsen and Brandon Routh, Clark Kent are watching the NASA thing unfold. And Brian would stop. He'd go, cut. Brandon, were you 100% happy with that take? Because I was only about 60% happy with that take. And I would shoot this all day long and collect this stuff. And I would make like a 5-minute video of all this crazy stuff Brian would do, send it back to the studio, and then they would show it to the executives at Target to see if they would come on board. And we did it for Pepsi. We did it for KFC. We did it for everybody. And the studio was like, and Brian wanted to top, he wanted every video to be bigger than the one before it. So it actually turned out to be a hilariously funny thing to do while this $200 million movie was being made. But then, Pepsi jumped on board. These companies would jump on board, and their executives couldn't believe, like they had unleashed the power of Pepsi. And I made a video where people just randomly on the set were like, unleash the power. They were like, everyone's being He-Man. And I'm filming Eva Marie Saint, who was in Hitchcock movies, said she played Ma Kent. She was like, unleash the power of Pepsi. I'm like, how are we doing this? And it was a huge part for the studio. It was a huge, big deal to get these companies to come on board, because when they did a Superman Returns series of Pepsi cans, they were everywhere. So you go to get a Pepsi, and there was Superman Returns on the can. So it was incredibly lucrative for the studio. And this report says they have $100 million of marketing, and sometimes they're being paid to include things or to do these kind of branding deals. And it's really lucrative and really important for the studio on their bigger movies. It's a gigantic revenue stream, and it certainly helps them alleviate the costs of production. So it's a great way to go, I think.
Somebody brought up a really interesting question in the live chat. Real Raging Cajun said, the question is, should that count towards box office? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because box office, like I was saying a little bit earlier, it is the representation to us of people actually going to see the movie, right? We learn about, did a movie appeal to people to want to go and watch it? Were they motivated to go and see? Were people willing to drop down the $15, $20, $22, whatever it's going to cost to go to see that movie? That's what box office represents. So now, is it like Rob was saying, it's a very important part of movie financing today for sure, but should it count towards box office? Absolutely not. Like, absolutely not. No way, no how should that be counted in there. By the way, somebody was also saying a little bit earlier, I just want to put a credit there. There are so many movies I was looking forward to at the new DC, but I have some doubts at this point. Superman didn't do well. Supergirl is a bad movie as a second installment, said very professionally from somebody who hasn't seen the movie. But I want to touch on this thing that Superman didn't do well. I don't know who you're listening to, but Superman, beloved by the critics, beloved by the audience, 90+% on the audience ratings. After the DCEU completely decimated the reputation of DC and drove all the audiences away, this Superman movie came out and made more money than the previous 7 DCEU films. Let me say that again. After DCEU shit all over the reputation of DC and drove the audiences away, Superman came out and made more than the 7 previous DC EU movies. It had the job of having to rebuild the reputation of how bad DC was decimated and destroyed. So yeah, DC did pretty damn well with Superman. Superman did very well. But is Supergirl going to be any good? Some people say it's great. Some people say not so much. I'm going to see it tomorrow night and we'll have an idea from there. Anyway, guys, question is for you. Supergirl has, at least on the business ledger, has already made over $100 million from promotional deals, which is the biggest in the studio history. What do you think? I mean, how does that alter the way we look at the filmmaking process? Does it at all? Should it? I mean, I don't know. Whatever you guys think about it, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Guys, we want to take a second and thank a sponsor of today's video, Hims. You know, one of the hardest things about trying to lose weight is just figuring out what actually works, because we've seen them all. There are a million trends, diets, and gimmicks out there, and honestly, it can get overwhelming. And that's why weight loss by Hims really stands out. Hims now offers access to an affordable range of FDA-approved GLP-1 medications, including the Wegovy pill at its lowest price ever, and the Wegovy pen. With Wegovy at Hims, lose up to 20% or more of your body weight when combined with diet and exercise. It helps you regulate your appetite and eat less, so success is within reach. Plus, Wegovy is the first ever and only GLP-1 available in a pill for weight loss, so there are no needles needed. And the process is extremely convenient. Everything happens online. You connect with a licensed provider who determines if treatment is right for you, and if prescribed, your medication gets delivered right to your door. No insurance necessary. Ready to reach your goals? Visit hims.com/Campea to get a personalized, affordable plan that gets you. That's HIMS.com/Campea. hims.com/Campea. Based on advertised cash price for 30-day supply of medication only. Membership required, fee not included, and billed separately. Weight loss by Hims is not available in all 50 states. Wegovy is the registered trademark of Novo Nordisk A.S. To get started and learn more, including important safety information, Wegovy clinical study information, and restrictions, visit hims.com.